Now on the CTV News at 5, ringing in the new year.
We're going to be decked out in glitter.
How celebrations are providing a boost to local business. Plus, looking ahead to 2026.
Keeping our infrastructure, our water, wastewater moving forward.
Lethbridge's mayor pledges to focus on city finances. And in sports, the Hurricanes are back on the ice. Full highlights coming up.
Telling your stories. CTV News Lethbridge
with Mark Villani.
Thank you for joining us. It's New Year's Eve and everyone's getting ready to celebrate. Lethbridge residents are finding some different ways to ring in the new year. With more, here's Quinn Keenan.
New Year's Eve is one of the busiest nights of years for bars and restaurants. Hudson's will once again be hosting its annual party. This year's theme is Glitter After Dark.
We're going to be decked out in glitter. We have a glitter feature menu, drinks, countdown platter, and then we'll have our DJ dancing starting up at 9:30 right until 2 a.m. We do a big countdown celebration.
The addition of the Canadian World Junior Game also means more sales. Tickets are available at the door and some advance tickets are still available. Even if you have a ticket, the best advice is to get there early.
Full capacity with a bit of a lineup. The earlier people get here, the better. We'll usually line up around 10:30, and then it's first come, first serve after that if people end up leaving with their tickets. But anybody who buys tickets guaranteed entry until 10:30.
Those who are too young to make it to midnight also had the chance to celebrate New Year's early. The main branch of the Lethbridge Public Library hosted its now annual New Year's Eve party.
Ringing in the new year, but a little earlier in the day, especially for those that can't stay up so late. So we have the event out here for all of the kids to celebrate.
The kids got the full New Year's experience, complete with the DJ, food and drinks, and an early New Year's countdown. The event has become a hit with families who want to make sure their little ones can still join in on the fun.
We've had people calling all week just wanting to make sure that they're able to make it, and we've had a really good turnout here today, so we're really excited.
Quinn Keenan, CTV News, Lethbridge.
And if you are celebrating tonight, Lethbridge police are reminding you not to drink and drive and plan ahead for a safe ride home. Well, the beginning of a new year means we start off 2026 with the statutory holiday, which includes a number of closures in Lethbridge. The 311 contact center is closed, but for urgent issues, a 24-hour trouble line is still available. City Hall won't be open tomorrow, along with the Waste and Recycling Center. If you have curbside pickup for Thursday, that will now be moved to Saturday. Animal services are closed, along with the Gulp Museum, Helen Schuler Nature Center, and the Lethbridge Public Library. As for transit services, remember it is a holiday schedule, so buses are running from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. That also includes Lethbridge's Access a Ride service. Gina is in now with weather. It's looking like we might be in for a mild start to 2026.
Yeah, the temperatures have been great to wrap up 2025. That will continue into the new year as well. Thanks to that Chinook setup we've been dealing with for a couple of days, really feeling it today. Winds this afternoon, 50 to 70 kilometers an hour. That will continue to be the story for much of this evening as well for your New Year's Eve festivities. Right now, coming out of the southwest, close to 40 kilometers an hour. And again, anywhere from 40, 50, even up to 70 kilometers an hour throughout tonight. And then it starts to taper off a little bit as we get into the overnight hours, down to about 20 to 40 kilometers an hour. But tomorrow morning, nice mix of sun and cloud out there, high of 1 degree, but there is some precipitation in the air, Mark. So we'll walk through that in full detail coming up.
Thanks, Gina. As the calendar flips to a new year, Lethbridge's mayor has his sights set on continuing ongoing work and initiatives, from being re-elected to a second term as mayor to beginning capital budget deliberations. 2026 is expected to be a busy year for council. Here's Carson Marsouk now with part 2 of our sit down with the mayor.
As the new year is set to begin, Lethbridge Mayor Blaine Higgin will enter 2026 in the mayor's chair for a second term after being re-elected in October's municipal election.
We have a respect that I didn't see previously in my terms on council, so it's something that is really I've really liked to see. My question was always, if I was successful in this in 2025, could we continue that moving forward? Well, I'll tell you right now, absolutely. I've seen the 3 new colleagues that had joined those that were re-elected, being Councillor Bieber, Councillor Wolf, and Councillor Doria, and how they have been so energized, especially during this orientation process, and the questions they're asking and the engagement that they have is just absolutely amazing.
As the new year approaches, Higgins says this council's top priority will remain focused on finances and watching the city's spending closely.
Well, I'd like to say we've had some incredibly beautiful, shiny things that are going to happen, new rec facilities and new gymnasiums and et cetera, but we heard loud and clear this council when we were campaigning to hold the line. And that was to focus on needs and not just the wants. And so taxes was a big part that we heard loud and clear from citizens. And so we're trying to find efficiencies around the community and around our services that we provide. But there's not going to be a lot of spending on new shiny things, to put it very bluntly. We're going to a capital budget here next year, and the focus is to keep the current infrastructure running efficiently and to look for other possible savings so that we do not have to increase taxation in the future.
Later in the year, council will enter capital budget deliberations, an area Higgins says will need to be monitored. With a focus to spend less, the mayor says only necessary items will see his approval.
You don't get the praises as council if you're sometimes you're not showing the shiny new objects, as I mentioned, but keeping our infrastructure, our water, wastewater moving forward so we can expand construction, new housing, and just working with our partners out in the community. So those builders, developers, the build that is made up of the construction industry, making sure we work with them and find out what, the red tape that's keeping them from moving forward. And so, but as far as us in this next budget, it's going to be a tight one. It's going to be something we've already given direction to our city manager, that mentioned to the rest of his departments that it's going to be a tighter budget and one that is, again, focuses on needs more than the wants.
The mayor says he's looking forward to continuing ongoing work and initiatives in the new year.
Please be safe and kind to one another, and I think that's a focus that I would have for a New Year's resolution. I know resolutions are made to be broken, some people say. It's one that I hope is not broken, and that we can be kinder in Lethbridge, and just remember that to help those that are less fortunate, not just at Christmas time, but throughout the year. So be kind to one another is extremely important.
Over to provincial politics now, and a surprise resignation announced this morning. Rebecca Schultz says she will step down from cabinet on January 2nd. Schultz is Environment Minister and previously held the portfolios of Children's Services and Municipal Affairs. In a social media post, Schultz says she will stay on as MLA for Calgary Shaw until May. Premier Danielle Smith releasing a statement thanking her for her service and now appointing Tabor-Warner MLA Grant Hunter to the position. He's currently the Water Minister and will be sworn in on Friday. A Medicine Hat country singer is one of 80 individuals appointed to the Order of Canada. Terry Clark was granted the highest designation in the Canadian honors system by Governor-General Mary Simon today. The award recognizes people across all sectors of society who have made extraordinary and sustained contributions to our nation. Clark is considered to be a country music icon. She was the first Canadian female inducted into the Grand Ole Opry, and her career has inspired countless Canadian artists. Still ahead, a longtime Medicine Hat radio host is looking for answers. We tell you about his incredible medical journey and why he's calling on the province for support.
Welcome back, and hello Chinook. West facing shot here showing where all that wind is coming from today that helped us get to that gorgeous double-digit high of 11 degrees, which is what we're sitting at right now. And you can see on the color contour here, anywhere in green in the positives is definitely benefiting from those westerly winds today. Far enough from the mountains to really feel that warmth, but if you go a little further like Medicine Hat and Brooks, you're just not quite getting the breeze there. So you are cooler, very variable temperatures right now throughout the province. Tomorrow we start to get back to more seasonal temperatures. Normally the high for Lethbridge at this time of year is -3, so we're very close to that with a high of -2 to start off 2026. And temperatures will hover around seasonal really for those first couple of days, but conditions are going to feel quite humid out there. We have some watches and warnings to the north of us right now. Freezing rain, yellow level watches in effect for central Alberta, including the capital region. Could we see those types of warnings around the Lethbridge area or even closer to Calgary? Possibly, as we take a look at this big system moving in. So it's going to cool off, but lots of precipitation coming in from the ocean over the mountains, and the jet stream here, as I show you, keeps moving more south. So that's bringing more of the precipitation and that cooler air our way. So beautiful ridge in effect for the final day of 2025 here. Again, we're going to be happy with a Chinook to end off the year. But like I mentioned, we start to see more cooler air push in. We start to hover right at around the jet stream line there. And we're getting a lot of our conditions steered in by this low pressure system over the Gulf of Alaska. Starts to really dig in as we get into the back half of the weekend there. So cooler air by the time we get into Sunday, and the potential for some flurries as well. And it could be a very moist feeling out there. Lots of humidity in the air. It doesn't show much for the snowfall forecast here, but again, expect a pretty thick cloud layer because of all the precipitation that will be in the air. -10 for the East Kootenay tonight, and then for the first day of 2026, expect a nice start to the day with a high of -4, and then those flurries moving in, and that's going to begin quite a sustained stretch of precipitation with rain and snow for the Kootenay region tomorrow night and then heading into the rest of the week there. As for the Crow's Nest Pass, breezy this evening, just like Lethbridge will be, cooling down to a low of -1. Tomorrow, a mix of sun and cloud with some westerly winds coming in at 30 kilometers an hour, but still a nice positive high of 5 degrees. Down to -9 with some fog possible tonight for Medicine Hat, and then up to -3 tomorrow. So a seasonal setup to start off the new year there. And then for us, a positive temperature for Thursday, mix of sun and cloud, but the clouds will again have the potential for some flurries really from Thursday straight through Monday. But temperature wise, again, we remain seasonal, if not slightly above it for the first 5 days of 2026.
The deaths of an Alberta man in an Edmonton emergency room is sparking fear for a Medicine Hat man. Last month, we told you about Kim Johnston, who was diagnosed with a debilitating brain growth. He's been waiting 3 months now to see a specialist, and he worries successful treatment is already too late. Tyler Barrow now with the story.
I'm warning the Premier, my MLA Justin Wright, Adriana LaGrange, and Surgical Minister Matt Jones. What happened at Grey Nuns in Edmonton will happen to me next.
Kim Johnston is referring to Prashant Srikumar, who collapsed and died while waiting over 8 hours in an Edmonton emergency department on December 22nd.
And you are up.
Johnston is a well-known Medicine Hat radio host who stepped away from the mic after an MRI in October found an arachnoid cyst pressing on his trigeminal motor nerve. That's the nerve that controls jaw movement and speech. His brain also struggles to communicate with his muscles.
Every day that those muscles don't get the signal from the brain, you're one step further away from any hope.
Vision in his left eye is also deteriorating. He has been waiting to get a neurological evaluation for over 90 days. He finally has an appointment in 3 weeks.
90 days is unacceptable, and I fear that I'm beyond the point of returning to normal life.
And his complaint is warranted, according to one medical expert.
Ridiculous to have somebody wait that long. Somebody who has progressive neurological symptoms like Kim does need to see somebody fairly quickly.
Friends of Medicare lauds Johnston for sharing his story, shedding spotlight on the capacity and workforce issues in the province.
What we need from the government is some transparency about what's happening with wait times and then solutions to bring those down.
Acute Care Alberta says specialized medical services are available in Edmonton and Calgary, and in a statement says they are focused on improving services for patients in more rural areas. They also acknowledge concerns over wait times, but say referrals are managed based on a patient's medical needs regardless of where they live. Improvements that couldn't come soon enough for some. Johnston is trying to stay positive while he waits.
I know that there are many others that face even more urgent difficulties than I am.
Tyler Barrow, CTV News, Calgary.
Global research led by the University of Calgary warns of the fallout from the rise of injuries in female athletes due to inequality in everything from training to equipment. The findings are part of a major International Olympic Committee consensus statement that was released in the British Journal of Medicine. The report aims to bridge the gap in how injuries are managed and prevented for women compared to men. Injuries often carry significant long-term consequences, including mental health challenges, obesity, osteoarthritis, and even poor academic performance. These factors are cited as the main reason why women and girls are dropping out of organized sports.
I think this consensus statement, it's not the finish line. This is actually kind of the start, and we need to really work at getting this information out to athletes, to coaches, to parents, and to those end users that it'll benefit the most.
The group developed 56 recommendations that were shared at a meeting of the IOC, including making more equipment specifically for the female body and equal access to training facilities and coaches. Still ahead, Team Canada unveils its men's hockey Olympic roster. We tell you which group of NHLers will be wearing a Maple Leaf sweater coming up in sports. The Lethbridge Hurricanes were back on the ice Tuesday night, looking to bounce back in the second game of a doubleheader against the Edmonton Oil Kings. Let's pick this one up early in the first period, and it's Lethbridge on the attack. Will Scott fires one from the point, and it appears to be tipped to open the scoring, but after review, the refs call a high stick, and it remains scoreless. Into the second period now. Edmonton's Gavin Hodnett enters the offensive zone, throws on the brakes, and he looks for a pass, but decides to do it himself, rushing around a Canes defender before the easy drop pass and a wide open net for Parker Alcos to put it home. Edmonton not stopping there. Alcos legs it out to neutral ice. He finds Landon Hansen, who takes his time deking around the slot. It's jammed away in the crease, and the Oil Kings are all of a sudden up 4-0. Into the third, and Caden Strader chases after a loose puck, fires, makes no mistake. He goes top shelf to score his second of the game. The Oil Kings would add two more, taking this one by a whopping 7-1. Lethbridge now hoping to get back on track in the new year. They host Swift Current on Friday. Over to Red Deer now, where the Rebels hosted the Medicine Hat Tigers, and it's the twins, Liam and Marcus Ruck, making an impact early, shorthanded. Marcus blocks this shot for the odd man rush. He finds his brother wide open in the slot, and it's 1-0 Medicine Hat. Just 1 minute later, the Rebels bobbling the puck now in their own end. This is going to be Marcus Ruck once again picking this up in the left slot. He is going to wire this one home for the insurance marker late in the first period. The Tigers kept it on from there. Marcus and Liam working together on this one, finding Jonas Wu at the top of the left circle for the easy one-timer on the power play. Over to the third now, shorthanded again. Medicine Hat steals it. It's Carter Cunningham with speed on the wing. He finds Misha Volotovsky on the doorstep. The Tigers take this one 8-0. Their 13th win in a row. They'll host Moose Jaw now on Friday to go for number 14. The town of Taber is making a big fundraising push to make much needed upgrades and repairs to its local arena. Taber announced it's officially putting in a nomination bid for Kraft Hockeyville, which would include a $250,000 prize and the chance to host an NHL preseason game. A catastrophic propane tank explosion rocked the community recreation center just a couple weeks ago. Thankfully, no one was hurt, but it caused significant damage to the building that's home to 2 ice rinks, a curling rink, and an archery range. Community members are now encouraged to submit online stories with pictures and videos on why the community rink matters most to them. The winner of Kraft Hockeyville will be decided in April of next year. Well, Team Canada has revealed its roster for the 2026 Canadian Men's Olympic Hockey Team. 6 players were named to the roster over the summer: Sidney Crosby, Connor McDavid, Nathan McKinnon, Cale Makar, Braden Point, and Sam Reinhart. The roster will now feature 14 forwards, 8 defensemen, and 3 goalies. Macklin Celebrini will make his Olympic debut while having an incredible second season with the San Jose Sharks. Forwards Bo Horvat, Nick Suzuki, Tom Wilson, and goalies Darcy Kemper and Logan Thompson are the 6 players now joining the team who did not play for Canada at the Four Nations face-off last February. This is the first group of NHL players to represent Canada since 2014. Well, some of the world's best extreme snowboarders and skiers will compete in Calgary this weekend at a free event. Practice runs have started for the annual Snow Rodeo at Winsport. The competition runs from Thursday to Saturday at Canada Olympic Park. It'll be 3 days of half-pipe competitions that could help qualify some athletes for the upcoming Winter Olympics. Free skiers and snowboarders from around the world will take part, including a handful from southern Alberta.
These guys are really, honestly, just some pretty big adrenaline junkies. That's probably the best way to explain it. Big sport for the adrenaline junkies, and just a way of snowboarding and skiing that's a lot different than what you see in a lot of different places, for sure. It's not so downhill, not so this. It relies on having this sort of infrastructure to be able to do it.
The 6th annual Snow Rodeo kicks off with qualifications on January 1st. For a complete schedule, visit the CTV Calgary website. Still ahead, a southern Alberta taxi driver came to the rescue in a big way this week. Coming up, the story of how he stepped in to help one of his passengers. A Calgary taxi driver is being praised for helping bring a new baby girl into the world. What started as a routine night Saturday on Calgary's icy roads became a moment Hardeep Singh Tour will never forget. The 4-year Checker Cabs veteran initially didn't know why he had been asked to wait for his customer until he saw a pregnant woman struggling to the cab, assisted by her companion. There wasn't time to wait for an ambulance, so with calm hands and steady driving, Hardeep got her to the Peter Lougheed Center safely. Within blocks, a baby girl was born in the back of his cab.
I was shocked, like when I see this lady, she was really in pain, and my thoughts was I should call for an ambulance or emergency, but then looking at the weather, so I was thinking it's not, maybe it's not right call, maybe they will take time. This was a wonderful memory for my whole life, and it was a good Christmas, and I'm hoping for a good New Year too.
Checker Cabs calls Hardeep a true hero. The company is offering congratulations to the newborn's family and thanking the cabbie for turning a snowy night into a miracle. Well, thank you very much for sharing this time with us. That's all the time we have. Wishing you a very happy and safe New Year. Now here's the early edition of the CTV National News.